Hello, I'm playing Crusader Kings 3 on the hardest possible difficulty settings, starting as a custom character in China in 1066. In our last episode, we became a minister, specifically the Minister of Works. We're currently accumulating influence in that position, trying to get to the highest level of influence, which would be Imperius. We can then take a special decision to become a favored minister or honored minister of works, which gives us a significant amount of power to our dynasty for the rest of the game. Once we do that, we'll see if we can move on to other ministerial positions, each of which has its own individual honored minister decision. We're accumulating influence primarily by funding great projects. We have some under construction now. Strength and capital is one that we were responsible for. So once that finishes in a few months, we should get a significant amount of influence from that. Other than that, really we're just sort of going to local examinations, doing other activities that can give us more influence. While we're doing that, let's take a tour around the map and see what else we can find. The most obvious one, reflecting on Europe, is we see that William the Bastard, then William the Conqueror, had become a scourge conqueror, passed that trait on to his, looks like to his third son, possibly his only surviving son, William II. And clearly combined, they have made good use of that by conquering most of Western, Central, Northern Europe. As you see, the Byzantines are still holding together. They often also get carved up by scourge conquerors the way you see the Holy Roman Empire has. The Persian Empire, not ruled by scourge conquerors, still quite large. Hindustan, on the other hand, is ruled by a scourge conqueror, though he is really starting to get an advanced withering mind. One of the ways you lose the Scourge Conqueror trait is if you become incapable. And as you can see here for Withering Mind, if you hit the max level, you immediately become incapable. So there's some risk that he may lose the Scourge Conqueror trait. Almoravids, not Scourge Conquerors. On the other hand, Ghana does have a Scourge Conqueror. So the Karluks, yep, Scourge Conqueror, as is Volga Ural. Doesn't look like there are any Scourge Conquerors in the immediate vicinity of China. As we talked about, even if there were, might not matter, because Scourge Conquerors rarely seem to attack a united China, in my experience. Always possible something different will happen in this particular game. So again, much like last episode, we're really just going to be focusing on getting influence whenever it's offered. Any decision that gives us influence, that's where we are. You see strength and capital was successfully completed. I think we got 1,000 influence from that. Now that that has happened, let's see. We can strengthen the capital. Again, not yet. We would need more treasury. It does sort of open the question of, do we want to take some of our personal gold and transfer it to the treasury? I'm not quite there yet, but depending on how long this seems to be taking, that may be the one way we want to go. I do want to speed this up in terms of getting through the ministerial ranks. So here is the only son we have, our current heir. Between diplomacy and learning, I think let's make him learning. There's a part of me that wants to make him stewardship. That was very effective for us. I think let's go ahead and do it. The concern here is that your education is extremely important, because that now determines your domain limit primarily. There are other factors that affect your domain limit in terms of perks you can get in particular trees in each kind of lifestyle, but largely your domain limit is determined by your educational trait, and so you really want to have the highest education level possible, which normally means you want to go with the education that is preferred by the childhood trait, which here would be either diplomacy or learning. I think we're going to roll the dice a little bit and take stewardship for a couple reasons, which is largely because we have two buildings in our estate that are increasing educational outcomes. So here you see tutor aptitude plus 20, chance of a rank 5 trait. And in addition to that one, we have in the Ancestral Shrine, we have a sub building up here, which again, tutor aptitude plus 20. So we have a very skilled tutor. We'll be teaching our son ourselves as our ward. We have a very high learning, though we don't have any quick, intelligent genius trait that really helps with education. But I'm thinking, or at least hoping, between those that we'll end up with a 4-star stewardship education, even though it's not his preferred type of education. Here we'll go with the learning experience. Intrigue experience here. Go with fabricating hooks in case we need it. The plan originally was to go with inspection really for the domain taxes. Now I don't know, I mean it might be better to go up this for some of the, improve our children, get the diplomacy. Genuinely not sure. I think let's go ahead and stick to our original plan. Go up the Abspector tree. See the Long D is writing me poems. I'm happy to accept his poems. He has plus 100 opinion of me, which is good. We will go to this debate first, and assuming there's nothing interesting happening when we get back, no interesting activities, we'll try to host our own debate. Debates are very good for getting influence, so as you get to be closer to the ministerial rank, you really want to focus more on influence. You can do that by hosting debates. We'll take the chance of increasing our success. For this one, we will take the influence. This guy is a member of our, I guess they're both members of our movement, so whichever, just pick either one. Just want to get the little bit of stewardship experience. Make a fool of the upstart, which we did. Take a rival. We have all of our 2 bodyguards, cupbearer, food taster all in place, so it should be relatively difficult to murder us. Get pedagogy for our children. And just looking for the maximum chance of success, which here success is automatic. Go with this. We succeeded in both of our checks here. It says that we will win. We'll see. A pro-song movement was declared the victor. So here we got 436 influence. So again, it's getting closer and closer to Imperius. As soon as we hit Imperius, I'm going to start accepting new positions with the plan that I will get some different ministerial position. That of course will be right after. So here's the resume new appointments decision. I'll take that right after I take the honored minister of works position that we were looking at earlier. So there's a capital examination, but not until 7 months from now. Like, let's see if we can hold a debate first, but we cannot. Yeah. So since we can't hold a debate, I just will just go on to the capital examination. Guess we'll see if this guy will join. He does not. Don't really care that much. Check. I don't think there's anything interesting we can do. Just have to assist the examination. Check our children here for any more sons. Okay, we do have one. All right. And again, we are focusing on sons, since daughters are really disfavored in China and CK3. They cannot inherit titles at all, so it really limits what you can do if you're playing a female character in China. One of the most important things you can do with your children is give them good personality traits. Let's start with giving him diligent, which diligent is just a ton of points here, total of 8 points, so significant increase. It does come with some serious drawbacks in terms of making stress loss more difficult, but I still almost always get it when possible, just because of the overall increase in your character's power. Check to see all of our concubine spots are filled. Again, we want the influence. I think we'll take prestige here. It's sort of a question of whether we need prestige or piety more. We technically have more prestige, but we're also losing prestige because of some of our court positions, so decided to take the prestige there. Here, take the diplomacy experience. Try to take the learning experience. And I pin my children up here, or at least my potential heirs, so I can keep an eye on them, and it reminds me that I need to do things like shaping their personality traits, making them learn languages, possibly giving them commander traits. And I would recommend that you likewise pin your children up here so you can keep an eye on them, not forget about them. If you're playing a longer game, one of the worst things that can happen is to have your character die, and all of a sudden you're playing your heir who you've never looked at. You have no idea what their traits are, no idea what their education is, and obviously it can turn out quite badly. Since having a good heir versus a bad heir could very easily be the difference in whether your realm falls apart upon succession. Go here, this local examination. Also looks like we have enough money for another great project. We'll also pay again to get more influence. And now the Ministry of Works Treasury is close to broke. That's okay. We are getting closer and closer to becoming imperious, so. And of course, once we move on to a different ministry, we'll have a different Ministry of Works Treasury that'll hopefully be more full, and we'll use that treasury then to make more great projects, get more influence. Okay. Just looking to max out some of our buildings. I should probably be looking at the sub buildings and seeing which ones I can build to get more influence. Another local examination we can go assist. This is a bit repetitive at the moment, but I'm hoping we'll soon become imperious and can try to do something different. This is probably going to cause us to miss the local examination, but I do like being a gardener. So I did get that. Stress gain minus 20%. It's very useful. Get some gold here. So we didn't make a local examination, but again, I think in terms of the choice between making a local examination versus being a gardener, I'd rather be a gardener. I'm sure there will be many more local examinations. We talked about before, we're playing with very hard difficulty, which means the AI makes more gold and also has a reduction in the cost of holding activities. And so the AI really likes to hold a lot of activities on very hard. It's really a silver lining because, as you saw, if you watched my last series on the Duke of Bohemia, I think the best way generally to approach playing on this hardest difficulty is to really build up your realm, basically play tall, which often means you're not really doing anything but watching buildings be constructed. So having the opportunity to go to activities hosted by the AI, it gives you something to do, keeps the game more interesting. Concern with China and these local examinations, they all tend to be quite similar in terms of the events they have. And so as we talked about last time, it would be nice if Paradox does increase the variety of the events that happen in the local examination. Also a building, I believe I want to build here. Nope. I was thinking I could build that. That requires being a movement leader. I believe there's also a building somewhere that requires you to be a minister. Since I currently am a minister, I'd rather build that now. I guess these two buildings both increase domicile influence, so let's work on those. I know it's been a long way, but we're getting there. think we can try it, given that if we win, we get 90. If we lose, it's only 25. Probably. Oh, no, we did win. Surprising. Become an herbalist in addition to being a gardener. Another daughter. That reminds me, let's command our family to attend examinations. We don't have anyone old enough yet, but they eventually will be. Coin flip is whether he passes examination, children's examination, but he did, so that's good. Guess we don't have anyone that knows any languages besides our own, so okay. Looks like I lost a son, which is unfortunate. And we didn't make the local examination. Okay. Wangdi is giving me gifts, which I will happily accept. Wangdi is giving me a lot of gifts. I don't know why exactly. I'm not in a faction against him or anything. Maybe he just really likes me. Don't have a royal court that could use that, so no real reason to pay for it. Just unpin a couple things to help clean up. Hopefully I will be able to host a debate of some sort. Okay. I would like to have a debate to become the leader of our movement, but I guess I can't do that yet, or at least not right now. Presumably the movement leader is traveling. I'll host a debate anyway, so I can get more influence. Presumably some person I humiliated in a debate at some point. Huh. I am surprised that his chances are so much higher than mine. Presumably because he has a whopping 40 learning. Okay, well, fair enough then. We'll get the diplomacy lifestyle experience. So, talk about before, get that little bit of stewardship experience from that decision. Continue going up this tree. You know, we should get some increases to our learning here soon. Just looking for what increases my chances of success here. Go. More influence and a whole lot of prestige. Guess we get some candidate score for whenever we resume taking new positions. So obviously this son is intelligent. Let's see. So this son might as well make marshal. But what that largely means is it probably is not terribly useful for me to educate him, and instead I will educate my newest intelligent son. Again, just want influence whenever it's available. Just check in on our oldest son here. See if we can make him temperate. We cannot. Another son who is not intelligent or quick, but instead has a genetic defect. So we will not be educating him ourselves. We'll leave it to our tutor. Let's check here, make sure. Yep, we have our tutor and wet nurse. Guess we should get a recorder for the renown. Continue on. Obviously, we are incredibly close to finally becoming imperious. In terms of the criticisms of the minister play that were frequent when All Under Heaven first came out, you can sort of see some of the reason here, that where the minister works, but outside of occasionally funding great projects, seems like most of what we do is assist with other people's local examinations. Let's see, I guess we can take that decision even though we're traveling, so let's do that right now. As you can see here, we get a big personal benefit, but I would say perhaps even more significantly, you get a permanent modifier to your, I believe it's your dynasty, it's at least your house, we'll check that. You can see this will apply to every member of our dynasty or house going forward. Increase in monthly influence, which would be very helpful right now. More merit, building construction cost modifiers, so all good things. And again, each of these honored minister decisions are particular to each ministry, and so there are a total of 9 potential ones. So in any case, we've been waiting for this for so long, now it's time to take it. And there you can see the text taking the decision. Obviously, we also get a large chunk of renown, which is very helpful. But just to show here, so I guess this is a house modifier, not a dynasty modifier. I'll remember that from now on. But you can see we have this permanent house modifier. go with resilient bloodline. Then if we have left over, we will go up the virtues trait here. That's particular to celestial governments. As soon as we get back to our home, we will take the decision to accept new appointments and hopefully get another ministry appointment. As you can see, we'd have enough influence to immediately take the honored minister decision of whatever ministry we get next. Of course, that is what we will do. Let's see if we have enough. 30 projects we can start. Not yet. Even if we start a project here and move on to another ministry, we should get the influence from that project. I think we don't really need alliances, and this wouldn't even result in one anyway. I think we'll keep all our children to ourselves and use them for our genetic program. We'll resume new appointments and continue on. We'll stay in the pro-song movement. Just zoom out here while I wait for stuff to happen. See that Francia is continuing to push into Eastern Europe. What often happens is this sort of push will destroy the Holy Roman Empire, but then whenever there's succession, a new ruler of Francia will then reform the Holy Roman Empire, take the decision to do so. And that's what I would guess would happen here, but you never know. So we'll join the debate since that gets more influence. Let's also take a look at our Liege Council, where we are. We are the Minister of Works way down here. Look at the health of the people ahead of us. Unfortunately, many of them are healthy. Except for these top two up here. And when they die, there may be a sort of a push upward, or it's even possible that I would get one of those top two positions, which are both quite powerful because they are the positions that can establish a regency over the Wang Di. The Wang Di has a permanent entrenched regency. The only question is what position is holding it. It's normally either the Grand Chancellor, Imperial Censor, and here, the power sharing is, really swung in the favor of the regent. So if we could take over the regency, we might have a chance, actually, of usurping the Wang Di, putting ourselves in his place, and ruling China without going even through a division period. To be a member of the conservative movement. Daughter. Keep improving our buildings. Always could use more influence. So my wife drank herself to death. Can we find a genius wife? Looks like the answer is no. Just check more systematically. And the answer is still no. Search for intelligent. Doesn't look like we lose any legitimacy or anything else from marrying a lowborn, so we'll go with this. Again, looking to get more influence. Candidate score. Try to make sure that I am next in line for whatever ministerial position opens up. We'll go with another project so I can get more influence. Happy to end rivalries. Learning experience. Again, don't really want to betroth our children to anyone. Could get the Ministry of Rights, which, again, that would be good. I'm not sure the Ministry of Rights has much of a role in great projects. Still, we could go there, take the honored minister decision, immediately look for new positions. This is fine, doesn't really cost us that much. Now we're largely waiting to get a new ministry position. You see there we are in line for some. Other than that, just continuing to improve our state and accumulate more influence. So when I get this event, I usually go with trusting. The reason why is there's another event that often comes up where the choices are ambitious, sadistic, and paranoid. And if you've already chosen content here, that locks out ambitious in that other event, meaning you have to go with either paranoid or sadistic. Paranoid is just a lot of stress gain. Sadistic, I know some people like it. I'm generally not a fan, especially when it's a sin. Here, it's probably less important. Maybe you should be more willing to take it, but I'd rather leave my options open by taking trusting. When I say here, sadistic might be better, is I don't think sadistic is a sin for Buddhism, and also it does have some benefits in terms of intrigue. Also, it has a penalty to vassal opinion, but that's less important here, where you're changing your vassals frequently. So, but still, let's leave our options open. Trusting isn't really a great trait. It's pretty mediocre, in fact, but I think of the options there, it makes the most sense. It does look like our liege's regent, unfortunately, is starting to lose power over him, which will not be good if we eventually are able to become the regent. From prior experience, getting the scales of power to favor the regent is very time consuming and quite difficult. The liege will be swinging the scales of power against you, setting you back. There's also a sort of natural degradation when the scales of power favor the regent to go back to the midpoint. And so really I think the only way to get the scales of power to go higher is to imprison your regent, which then prevents them from swinging, and you just swing as often as you possibly can. But even then, overcoming the natural degradation is challenging. Someone trying to murder me, you don't really want to be murdered, so we'll redouble the guards. Also declining betrothal. I want to stay in the pro-song movement. Guess we could train for a tournament, even though I'm skeptical there'll be a positive outcome, though there was in fact. Strengthen the capital again. We have the treasury funds for it, and once it completes, we'll get yet more influence. Doesn't really matter if someone has a hook on me, so I'd rather have the earning lifestyle experience, get learn on the job, which is a significant increase to our character's power. Keep filling out our state here. We should get the building that increases earning lifestyle experience, which is this one. Unfortunately, a lot of playing in China is a waiting game, waiting for appointments. And here, that's basically what we're doing, is really just waiting for our next appointment. We will continue to fund great projects as we can. It's always useful to get more influence. And then we'll just be attending events. Primarily these quite frequent local examinations. Each one does give a little bit of influence, which is really the main thing we're looking for now. Take another shot at making our sun temperate. Also influence the personality of our younger son with who is intelligent. I think we'll also try to make him a stewardship character. Don't need stress release, so instead we'll go with piety for that last event. Let's continue to work on maxing out our estate here. Might as well take the coin flip. One again. And then we'll just continue on. Okay, Minister of Rights is in poor health. These are the same two guys who are also in poor health at the top of the government. So hopefully we'll have some movements soon in terms of who holds which ministries. Alright, let's try to become movement leader. Maximize our chances of success and see what we can do here. This one, cynical, obviously not a great trait for piety and zealot vassal opinion, but again, vassal opinion matters less here in China, and piety, generally not much of a use for it. Getting learning is good, getting intrigue is also fine, so we'll make him cynical. And that was the last trait he could get, so there we go. Maximize our chances of success here. Have a 99% chance to humiliate the upstart. Get influence. Okay, so that should end that scheme. Maximize our chances of success, and despite our efforts, we did not become movement leader. So we will continue to wait on our next appointment. Also waiting for another debate. Hopefully we'll go better. We can in fact become a leader. We'll see here about just waiting for the capital exam to daughter has grown up. We'll see if we can betroth her to a genius, if there are any. There are not, so we will betroth her to someone intelligent. Matrilineally, I think it'll work. Again, we want to stay with the pro-song movement. Have our liege have the highest opinion of us. Hopefully appoint us to a good ministerial position soon. Wang Di giving us a courtier, which, okay, happy to take it. Construct some more great barracks. Again, upon completion we'll get 1,000. Hopefully other ministers or the Wang Di will fill in the other mandatory contributions. I think I'd still rather have the prestige. See the great project completed, and we are in fact being rewarded with influence. We'll start another great project since we have the funds. Let's build Kai Feng here, pick the one that gives us more influence. And I think with that we'll call the episode here. This domicile finishes, and again, we've been continuing to incrementally increase our power. You got to see the honored minister decision. Hopefully that will be the first of at least a few this character can take. And thanks for watching, and I hope you'll join in the next episode.